Okay, so we all get 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks in a year. How do we get more organized and how can we invest our time better? Did you ever wish you had more time? Maybe added 2 or 3 or maybe more hours to your day or to your week? Well, you might not be able to add even an extra second to your day, but you can make it seem like there is more time and you could find it right on your calendar. And I'll teach you how. Okay, so let's talk about those extra hours you're looking for in your week or in your day. Where do you look? Where could you find it? It might be simple. So the first thing you want to do is think what you would like to do with that time. You know, how would you invest that time? Is it to start a hobby? Maybe to run some errands? Maybe to catch up on some Z's? Or just to do nothing? You know, relax. So I'm a big proponent for writing lists. In fact, I love lists. Here's why. When you make a list, it gives you a clear perspective of things, like maybe a shopping list, right? You write a list of the things that you want to bring home from the supermarket. You make a list of the things that you want to have, what you don't want to have to remember, or rather, that you don't want to forget, right? So so you start by making this list, and what you want to put on it is all the things that you already do in your day. Even if it varies from day to day, you take this into account. After you've written the list, you've added all the things to your list, you want to approximate how much time it takes you to complete each of the things, right? And you want to be fair and conscientious. So let's say, for example, you say, in the mornings, I'm going to write my journal. I take maybe 45 minutes to an hour, right? You want to give yourself enough time to do that task that you want to do, okay? In other words, you don't want to try to squish everything together without giving yourself time to maybe take a break, maybe take a walk if you need it throughout the day, maybe to have some lunch, right? You want to give yourself enough time, and any tasks in between, any breaks, right? You want to be able to move from one task to the next without difficulty, allowing a cushion between each of the tasks wherever possible. And remember, this is your list. These are your tasks that you decide how much time you invest in each of them and how much time you want to take in between. Okay. So once you've identified the time that you want for each of the tasks on your list, you'll start placing them on a calendar. And I prefer an electronic one, say on an app, maybe on your computer, like Outlook, or on your phone, right? And so you place these according to the day you do them, and you want to put the start and end time, okay? So you do this, you add all your tasks, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, etc., starting time, ending time, any cushion time in between, okay? And then when you're done placing all the tasks on your calendar, you look for any gaps. And the gaps will be any spaces between the tasks where allowable, where there's there's a good maybe an hour or two, right? Or you're going to look for tasks. Sorry. You're going to look for any task that you could delegate. And you'll know what these are, right? Whether it's weekly, bi-weekly, or once a month. Is it a task that you can delegate to someone else? Maybe pay someone to do it for you, or, maybe bulk some tasks together. Let's say, for example, running an errand. Maybe you have two or three of these in your day. Can you bulk them together? Can you do one run for all three errands, right? And by delegating, I mean, sometimes you have, one of your kids, your spouse, a friend, somebody that you trust, or, and, I don't know, like shopping, for example. Maybe you do shopping through those Uber sites that'll do the shopping for you, right? Once a month, twice a month, whatever, right? And it's your decision. And then after you've had a broad look at what your calendar looks like and any time gaps, any spaces, any reasonable amount of times, like an hour, 2 hours, right? Then you get to decide where you're going to fit in that hobby, that new task, that new goal that turned into a task on your calendar, right? Or maybe it's just a space for creativity. Whatever it is, you decide where you're going to fit it in. And any of that space is just time, new time that you're able to use for yourself, right? Because sometimes we use our time just kind of willy-nilly, whatever comes, no schedule, kind of just taking one thing as it comes, as we remember to do it, right? But seeing it on a calendar, it kind of keeps things in perspective. It helps you to see all the things that you do, right? So in a ways, it keeps you accountable. It keeps things in perspective. It can keep you punctual, right? As you're doing each of the things scheduled on your calendar. And so what I usually do is, I have things on my calendar. I use my phone as a reminder as well. And so what I do is first thing in the morning, whether it's at work, because I do this at work as well, whether it's at work or at home, I take a look at the things, what my day looks like. Do I have any special meetings? Do I have any special errands? Do I have any appointments for that day? And what is the spacing between my tasks, right? Sometimes I might need to move things around. It's my decision so that I'm able to get things done in a way that's effective and efficient, right? Where I'm using my time to my um, you know, working for me and not me working for it, right? Um, so yeah, it keeps me disciplined in seeing, what I need to get done, what I want to get done. And as I stay true to my calendar, I'm able to work through the things that I want to get done, right? And so I also don't have to constantly be remembering or keeping things up here because they are on my calendar, right? I'm using the external resources to keep me moving through my day effectively, efficiently, right? So suggestion for you to try it out, see how it works for you. Maybe you're already, using one of those resources. Maybe I see Sanum shaking her head. So tell me, Sanum, you want to share a little bit?
As you know, I'm very bad. I need to use those things like, write down because we both are in the dual career.
Mm-hmm.
We have a lot of things to do it,
Yeah,
but with a small mind, we forget it, right? And like the other day, I need to go for something that I planned 2 months ago, right?
right.
I registered it, and I was thinking it is a March 3rd,
Mm.
and it was in March 2nd.
Okay, you see, that's a great
And
point.
I said, seriously? Oh,
Yeah. And you know what? You said something very, very true that yes, we're intelligent people and we want to stay because we can't, as much as we have so many things to keep up with, family, the daily things, the weekend things, right? And so we don't want to overload our brain. It's kind of caring for ourselves, right? Because I mean, I'm going to admit, I'm not good at remembering everything, especially things that I have to do in the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, right? But I know that if I put it on my calendar, all I need to do is place it on my calendar and the day of, or maybe the day before, depending on what it is, right? The day before or the morning of, I take a look at what's on my calendar, and that way I can, oh, wait a minute, I had this to do. I have this appointment, right? And it's just helping ourselves, having our what I like to call as having my own back, right? Having our own backs to doing the things that we want to get done, right? Because I can't expect myself to remember everything. Yes, sure, somebody can do it, wonderful, God, kudos, but that's not me, and so I don't want to put myself at a disadvantage by having to remember everything. I'd rather know that I'm using these external resources to help me to stay, focused in my own way at the speed that pleases me and that helps me to keep the momentum to the things that I need to get done, the things that I want to get done, right?
yep,
So again, offering for you to try it out. If,
definitely.
yeah, absolutely. And, just try it out. You make your list. As I mentioned before, you make your list of all the things that you do normally and maybe the things that you want to add, incorporate. And once you put those things on your calendar, you'll see, oh my goodness, you see some of those spaces that you're able to then allocate and use. And once you have those spaces, even if it's taking 45 minutes to read that favorite book, right? Maybe you want to catch up on your reading. So you add 45 minutes a week or a day if that's your preference, whatever pleases you. The idea is to keep yourself, help yourself with these external resources and keep the momentum to what you would like to do. Okay?
Mhm.
Do you have any questions? I'd be happy to answer.
You gave all the answer of my mind.
Okay. No worries. Okay, so that concludes today's session, and thank you so much for joining. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your participation. Sorry about all these little interruptions with technology.
I know.
Um, yeah. So I am going to hit the stop recording now.